folks, Lindsay Willis with the Rosen Law Firm, and today we're going to talk about the difference between legal separation and legal divorce. In the state of North Carolina, you are legally separated as soon as you and your spouse are no longer living under the same roof at the same residence. We don't have any sort of designated filing for separation in North Carolina. There is no document that needs to go to the courthouse or be recorded anywhere. It is simply as soon as somebody is not living at the marital residence anymore or where you were living together, then you are now legally separated. The thing to keep in mind about that is that, number one, you can't be separated while you're still in the same house. And so if you are living in separate bedrooms and have been for a while, that doesn't constitute a legal separation. You actually do need to have a physical mailing address different from your spouse in order for that to qualify as a legal separation. Divorce is a different process. So the divorce is a process that happens after you've been separated. So you've had your legal separation where you have not lived together for at least 1 year and 1 day. At that point, either one of the parties is then eligible to file for that legal divorce action. What that's going to look like is about a 6 to 8 week process where you're essentially submitting several rounds of paperwork through the court system. And then ultimately the judge will sign your divorce judgment, which is really putting ink on paper and the final stamp of approval on that divorce judgment being finalized. But again, those are two very different processes. There's the legal separation, which just starts once you start living separately. Then there's your formal divorce process, which is an administrative process that's run through the court system. Once you've obtained your judgment for absolute divorce, there's two big things that happen at that point. One is that you will begin to start filing your taxes as an individual instead of as under the married umbrella. The other thing that happens is that you are both then eligible to get remarried. So those are the two things that really fundamentally change from a status perspective when you actually get that divorce judgment. I would like to highlight, though, to people, a lot of times we get asked, do I have to wait a year before I start to do anything? Am I supposed to move out and then I come back in a year and we start working on our settlement? And the answer is no. The goal is usually to have your full and final settlement done well before it's time to file for divorce. So don't feel like you need to wait that full calendar year of separation before you start addressing any of the issues in your case.